Election circus descends on Sin City. Donald Trump is continuing to insist that the odds are unfairly stacked against him. Basically, he is questioning American democracy itself. And that strategy tells you one thing above all: he is worried about losing. James Cook, BBC News, Las Vegas.
Well, let's speak now to Harlan Hill, a political consultant and a Democratic strategist. He joins us from our studios in New York. Welcome here to the programme. So we have this third and final debate. What are you expecting?
Oh, it's going to be nasty, without question. Look, I don't think that Donald Trump has fallen in the polls over the last week because of his performance in the last debate. I think that he was the clear victor there. I think that he has fallen in the polls because of all of this salacious reporting on potential sexual harassment. And so going into this debate, I think that he's going to be confident based on his last performance. And I think this is Hillary Clinton's chance to put him out of his misery. So this is a pivotal moment in this debate for both of these candidates.
And yet, when you look at the other two debates, I take on board what you said, but after the first debate, when he lost, he sort of sulked and talked about it and complained about it for 2 weeks. After that second debate, you may be right that he won it, but he said that thing where he said, look, I've never actually done these things. I've spoken about it, locker room chat. And that seems to be the trigger for all of those women to come forward and contest that. And there goes another 2 weeks wasted on all of that.
Oh, absolutely. Look, in politics, if you're defending yourself, if you're explaining yourself, you're losing. And for too long in this process, he's been on the defensive, which has been to the great advantage of Hillary Clinton. Though, unfortunately for her, she hasn't really capitalized on it. When you look at her polling over the last 6 months, she's relatively stable. It's him that he's going up and down like this. I mean, he's all over the place. From week to week, he might be, pulling ahead of her, or he's down 13 points. And so, it really actually speaks to both how volatile his campaign is, but then also the fact that hers just has not been able to break through.
And what's your personal take on the two candidates in terms of what you have seen?
Yeah, I mean, Hillary Clinton is probably the most flawed candidate, the most damaged candidate for the President of the United States in history, except for Donald Trump. And I think at this point, what we know about WikiLeaks, if any other Republican had stepped up, she would be in serious trouble at this point. I still think she's the odds-on favorite to win, though.
It is interesting because just looking at your biography details, I mean, you have advised on so many different campaigns, and yet, in a sense, a lot of that experience goes out of the window because this is unlike any other sort of campaign.
I have never seen anything like it, even studying the history books. This is truly unprecedented. It makes for great TV, right? But it really makes me question the future of American democracy. I mean, I do think Donald Trump's right about that for sure. Just that, we're so divided at this point. I hope that there's the potential for reconciliation. I think this speaks to whoever loses in this race. Their concession speech will probably be one of the most important, most pivotal moments in American democracy in the last couple of decades, because we need to see a peaceful transition of power, and the tensions are so high here. It does make me concerned.
In terms of the voters, do you get the sense people are still listening, trying to find the detail on policy? Because it was interesting, Donald Trump was speaking yesterday, and I saw one fact checker say that 22 occasions, and they listed them, he told something that was untrue.
Well, yeah, I mean, but I think that's true on both sides. I mean, if you look at Hillary Clinton's WikiLeaks, we see that on issues of fracking and immigration, even, building a border wall, she used to be before that, and now she's against it. On issues of basically everything that Hillary Clinton says publicly, it's the direct inverse what she actually believes. So, trustworthiness is an issue on both sides.
Yeah, and yet so much of what we've seen over the last 2 to 3 weeks has been utterly focused on Donald Trump because of the things he's done, and perhaps much less focus on all of those things that potentially could have helped him.
Oh, absolutely. Look, I mean, here's the real deal. I mean, democracy only works if we have a vibrant media, and unfortunately the media here in this country is so hyper-focused on the salacious details of the sexual harassment claims that they haven't focused on any of the issues of trade, immigration, the economy, ISIS. This is what people really care about. The American economy is frankly stagnant right now. We're growing at 1%. Median household income is flat under the Obama administration. We have real economic problems in this country, and there's almost zero discussion of it in the debates between the candidates and in the media. It does the American people a remarkable disservice.
One word, yes or no, is this third one going to be even nastier than the last two?
Yes, without question.
Well, Harlan Hill, thanks very much for joining us. And, of course, you can see that third presidential debate live from Las Vegas on Wednesday night here on BBC World News. There's also plenty of campaign analysis. Just go to bbc.com/news. One article looks at whether a US election could be rigged. That, of course, what Donald Trump has been saying for the last few days, and whether that is at all possible.